Jim Howard here in Fort Worth, Texas.
Thank you very much for watching.
Hello, Jim Howard here in Fort Worth, Texas. Today's date, it is April 12th of 2022. I just scheduled a doctor's appointment to have lab work done, and that's towards the end of this month. And then I scheduled a few days later a office visit. I was thinking that it had been about 8 months since my last confession. Okay, never mind. But anyway, it's actually been a year. And what's bad is that appointment started out good when I went to it a year ago, because they had a physician assistant young lady in training. I mean, she's a physician assistant, but then they were showing her how the office works. And so she got me as a patient. And then, of course, the physician assistant who's been there a long time, and that's my regular one that I go to, she was the one orientating the person. And the way it worked out, they spent, where normally I go in there and in and out pretty quick. They spent an hour or a little bit longer doing everything, and it was very thorough. I mean, extremely thorough. And they came up with some things like the swelling that I had on my arm, let's see, over here, which nobody could explain. I had that pop up just before I had to have a second pacemaker put in because of battery, you know. And there were some other things that came up too. And as I went through, like when I went to the heart hospital to have the pacemaker put in, you know, they're like, I said, you know, don't draw blood here, please. And they drew it over here. I said, and everybody, no, I don't know what that is. Yeah, I've never seen that before. Stuff like that was going on. Now it turns out that I have this same thing on the other side. And so a year ago at that intensive, 2 people working, you know, that was the problem, you know. They don't normally do that. And that's kind of gay, isn't it? I don't know, something about that. And then there were some other things that they wanted taken care of, whatever. Well, I guess maybe each one thought the other was doing the charting, and so nothing happened. I haven't had this checked. Now it's over. I have one over here also. And then on top of that, me not scheduling anything. We don't have a car. I really don't. With the virus situation, I don't want to use an Uber. I know human nature. I know people, and somebody who's an Uber driver is. I mean, there's always exceptions to that, but people that would be an Uber driver, they're not going to, you know, sanitize that car the way they should, and I don't blame them, you know. So it ended up that I haven't seen them for a year. I'll be seeing them a year. So anyway, I took care of that. You know, the problem is I don't want to use an Uber for anything right now. And I've used Uber in the past and been satisfied with it. But also, you know, the problem is I don't even have a driver's license. And my ex-wife doesn't have a driver's license. And my grown son doesn't have a driver's license. And all three of us, well, two of us, myself and my ex-wife, we have a lot of medical problems. And my grown son, he has a serious situation. And anyway, my daughter, who's been hauling us around when we need to be hauled around, she works on using the telephone. And she needs to take calls. And if she runs me to the doctor's office and I'm there for an hour or whatever, and then she brings me, you know, she stays, then she brings me back, she may have lost quite a bit of money. And so I don't want to be running around. My ex-wife has a lot of doctor's office visits and all types of things. I don't normally. And anyway, that's not really what I wanted to talk about. As you may know, I am a Derry Girls fan. I really loved their first two seasons. They only had 6, you know, in each season, and there is now a third season, and this will be the last. And this, I think, has a little more up to date. It's dated March 30 of 2022. Oh, okay, that is up to date. Yeah. So there is some new information. Can you believe it's been almost 3 years since Derry Girls, Derby, I think, Season 2 was released in July of 2019. Although watching the show on repeat truly never gets old. And I have to endorse that. I'm ashamed to tell you how many times sometimes I just want to watch something while I'm doing something else here, moving stuff around, cleaning a little bit, although it doesn't, you know, when I mean cleaning, I mean moving stuff around in order to, every time I want to do something, everything for me is in this room. And I don't know if you can see yeah, you can. Nope. There, okay. You can see those 3 containers, or is it 2? Anyway, they're stacked there, and there's others around, and there's other stuff. I have to dig through, if I want a cable, if something, you know, a cable or a connector or something, I end up having to go through, put everything on my bed, and dig through, and I find it, then I have to take everything off my bed, and, you know, so. Anyway, and I'll just put Derry Girls, and I don't know how many times I've rewatched it. Too many. It says here, we finally have a release date for the 3rd and final season, and the 3rd season starts on Tuesday, the 12th of April, and I wonder if that's last year, because this is only what did they say? Is today Tuesday, the 12th of April? I think it is. So I'm sure, well, let's see what it says. Channel 4 announced the news with another first look clip at the show, and oh, it looks so good. see. Okay, there's a trailer. Okay, are you ready, folks? This is a trailer for season 3 of Derry Girls. I think it's Derry Girls now, and I can see it.
Once again, the maze was the focal point of a troubled peace process.
That's all anyone ever bangs on about.
We lived on the edge back then. We were young, wild, fearless.
Drum roll, please, sister.
Have you lost your actual mind?
Hat! How much longer are we going to ignore the elephant in the room? Where you fail your GCSEs, the school won't take you back.
Just try to enjoy what time you've left, girls.
I'm sorry, can nobody else hear the absolute racket you're making?
Just breathing.
It's anguish breathing, James. It is a bit oppressive, actually.
Derry!
Derry!
Someone call her?
Jesus, I need some excitement.
Call for a plumber.
If you're that hot, you should at least have the common decency to be a bit thick.
We don't need to be constantly supervised. First grade. Useless! We will perish in this place.
I'm gonna die of virgin.
That was always on the cards, to be fair.
The new series of Derry Girls coming soon on Channel 4. Stream series 1 and 2 free on all 4.
That really looked good. Oh, I can't wait.
MasterChef. I'm going to stand MasterChef. Is that reality TV?
Every time that we were getting ready and a tiara would come into there and make a trailer, I was like a little girl. It's just something exciting about getting to wear a crown on your head. I don't know.
Hello, my name is Claudia Jessie.
Hi, I'm Nicola Cotta and I'm playing Stan or Band with Cosmo UK.
I'm stunning the jewellery, because those are intricate and beautiful.
I am standing the tiaras because every time that we were getting ready and a tiara would come into there and make a trailer, I was like a little girl. It's just something exciting about getting to wear a crown on your head. I don't know. And then I would ban the tights. Because the thing is, when you're in a full course and the tights slip down, you can't bend to fix them. So then your crotch line is where your knees are, and it's the worst.
And I'm going to ban... I had some tiny, little cream booties, and whilst they were lovely, after a little bit, they pinch. But they were fine. I wouldn't ban any of it, but that's what I'm going to go for. I'm going to stan.
You liar.
Oh my gosh. I know, exactly. I'm tempted to ban a lot.
The thing is, I totally stan them. I think I quite like it as an escape from, because I think when you're an actor and you're watching TV drama or comedy, you're like, who was that person? What were they in? I think the director did this, I think. So reality TV for me is like switching your brain off.
I'm going to stand MasterChef. Is that reality TV? I'm going to stand MasterChef, and then I don't know the rest enough to be able to ban one. That's my diplomatic answer.
No, I totally stand them. I started watching The Real Housewives during lockdown, which I swore I would never do, and then I was like, why have I deprived myself of this joy for so many years? I would ban, do you know what? Because I don't like seeing people eat gross things. No, I can't say it because people hate me.
Exactly, that's how I felt.
I don't really watch I'm a Celebrity, so I'd have to choose that one. Because I can't see people eat gross things.
I stand Eloise Bridgerton to the very end.
I would stand Claire Devlin from Derry Girls. Because she's always, there's more Derry Girls to come, but she's always going to have a very special place in my heart. And then I would ban, this was at drama school, I had to play a character called Little Isle, who was a tiny boy who got killed 3 minutes into the play. So that was not my favourite.
And I ban... I ban a very annoying schoolgirl I played in a few episodes of Doctors.
I stand having people over to my flat.
Okay, well,
and making margaritas and wine and just dancing in here. That's kind of
I'll put the link to this. So it's coming to Channel 4, which is in the UK. I'm not sure if it's Northern Ireland channel, or Channel 4 is, or if it's for the entire UK or something. Anyway, but Channel 4 is the network. So my guess is, and they don't answer this here, I don't believe. Let's see. Specifically, they won't. I guess people were wondering if something is going to be romantic between Aaron and James. It appeared to be maybe at the end of season 2. Anyway, I'll put the link. My guess is that they'll show it on Channel 4 in the UK, wherever I guess maybe the entire UK is covered by that channel or something. I think it may be like a network instead of a local, you know. And then I think what they'll do is release it on Netflix, because that's where the 2 seasons over here, you know, we could see was Netflix. I hope that when they do the release, and I think they will, I hope they release all 6 of them, you know, and not release one, you know, a week or a month or something like that. I think they will. So I'll have hopefully sometime 6 new shows to watch. Now, of course, because I played a few seconds of that, I'm sure that if I try to monetize this, which I won't, I'll turn off monetization on this, and because I know it's going to pop up as a copyright, you know, because if there's a little tune or something in there, it'll pop up as it's. I can understand why they have to do that kind of stuff. It's just, I think, of course, Netflix doesn't want to cause any trouble for themselves or anybody else. I think, though, what it should be, they have these systems that as soon as you upload something, it goes through this computer maze or whatever, and if there's anything in there, and there's all these groups, all these lawyers or people have set up these things, and if there's a few bars of something, anything, that pops up immediately on YouTube that you know, that you can't monetize it. And I think that the automated thing, I understand they can't, you know, they can't have somebody sitting there and saying, yeah, I think that's from, you know, they have to use machinery. But the onus ought to be on the people who are claiming it. They should have to, I mean, it's the way it's, I saw a long time ago a documentary, and on 60 Minutes or something like that, and there's a small town in Texas, according to this, that hardly anybody lives there. They do have a courthouse, and they do have an office building, and the office building is filled entirely. There's nobody there. It's just offices. I'm not even sure that they have the equipment actually running, you know, in there. But then it's with the court there in a small town. If they have, I'm not sure if they have to go over and have something, you know, certified. Or it's a racket, and I don't know how they need to fix that. I'm walking through a mall. I could barely hear music, and this was years ago, and I was making a video of the mall, you know, and I said, you know, well, there's music, a little bit of music in the background. I can barely hear it, but this will probably get a, you know, copyright strike or whatever. Yep, it did. One of the shows that I really like is the UK roadshow, or antique roadshow, and I made a video. I was a bit sort of a video like this. I was talking to y'all, and then I went over and I said, I really love this Antiques Roadshow. And there was just a very small, very, very short clip of their, a little bit of their music or something like that, and that got a, you know. And two, like I also, I forget, something like this, I ran for a movie, what do you call it when they do a thing to get you to, you know, they put something out to tease you so you'll go and see their movie. And I didn't even watch the entire, I didn't even play the entire thing. I think I went like halfway through it. So what are we talking about, 2 minutes, 4 minutes max or something like that? I said, this looks like a really good movie. And of course that, you know, they're advertising their product. And so, you know, so anyway. But good news for those of you who like this program. It's one of the most, one of the best programs I've seen. They really did a good job. They did a great job with the casting. And too, like it's a 30-minute thing, and to get everything in each, and they did it with each one of the episodes. And they you know, they knew just where to cut everything. It's just, and the writing and everything, just great. So anyway, let's see. Of course, I want to upload this, and I'm going to mark it, not, you know, not trying to monetize it. Very few things do I monetize or try to monetize, very few. And a few times I've said, you know, I don't make any money from the monetization. Why do I even have it turned on? But anyway, you could help though by going to Amazon and like you'll see the link several places, I think, on my below, you know, on the thing there. There'll be a thing that says, you know, something, or rather go to my, well, I guess I could go to it, couldn't I? I don't think I'll issue a, let's see, YouTube. I don't think that'll issue a thing on me because you have to apply, or, you know, anyway, YouTube, let's see. Oh, why are you so slow today? We pay for 400 down. Okay, let's see. Okay. So, I thought I deleted this thing here, ko-fi.com or whatever. I need to go in and, I guess I deleted that thing from someplace else. Okay, well here's my, I think I made this yesterday. Doctor's appointment. I think this is the cancer doctor. So here you'll see it down here, and you may see it a few other places. My Amazon store link. If you click on that, let's go to a new tab. Okay, now where is that popping up? Oh, okay, this is it. I've actually never seen it looking like this before. I need to go in there and I'm not expecting you to necessarily, well, I need to work on it. In the beginning, I did try to set up several areas, but I've let it go. So, but just once you click on that, then if you go someplace else, you know, if you don't leave, if you don't log out of Amazon, I would make a commission. Not very much, but I think for the last few months it's been like less than $10 a month, and I'm not even sure they pay until it's. I think they are now paying, even if it's $10 a month or something. But anyway, I need to come in and make this look better and organize the stuff, and I got some ideas for doing that. One thing I'm going to do, and I'm not sure when, but I'm going to have, when you come here, the thing will be the page or whatever that you come to at that time, or that you click on to go to, will be the equipment that I'm actually using right now. And then if I add a new piece of equipment or something and replace, I'll remove the old one, and so you'd always have a little bit of an idea of, and there'll be the link where you can click on it and purchase it, or just go see it at Amazon. And that's one of the things I'm going to do. Now, I've mentioned this before. Let me mention this again. And it is a secure link, because I know you're probably worried about it, but to make it easy on you all you have to do is type in jimhoward.me, and when you do that, you go also to the to that same link. I don't care which one you use, but if you could, now a few times there was a guy who apparently had a voice over IP. Well, he installed, I guess. I'm looking at from what I can't get any information on. If you buy something, I can't get your name or anything like that. All I can see is that you purchased, and I don't know who you are, that you purchased something. And he was purchasing voice over IP equipment and the phones. Like, I guess he would have a business would say, we need 10 multi-line phones and something like that. I think he installs them as a thing too, and does everything. And so that was a little chunk of money that he was spending, and it wasn't a big commission on it or whatever for me, but then of course he stopped doing that after a while, and so some other things like that. So if you could just the Fort Worth Police Department asked me to help them with recruiting and with putting out social media stuff like YouTube and that kind of stuff. And so the police, and I have no idea how many, but it was a bunch. The police department bought a bunch of digital cameras that officers could, have issued to them, and to make YouTube video, or make whatever, let's say YouTube videos. And the chief of police or whatever, in case you object to that, well, there's a new chief of police now, by the way. But that they could, take the camera, be assigned it for a while or something like that. So the two guys who were working with me, I wasn't being paid or anything, you understand? Just trying to help out there because of, but anyway, then they said, okay, well, the chief of police has authorized us to buy, X number of cameras and other equipment, everything, expensive stuff, And I said, by the way, if you can use my link, and they didn't use it once. People don't, and it's before even YouTube, back when, before YouTube, and before the the World Wide Web. People do not like. I've mentioned this before. Like I had for years, starting in 1982. But I would have I do maybe WordPress. I've used them all. When they came around, I was there, and I'd sign up for it and then use it maybe for years, and then something else would come along. But like when I was using WordPress, I'd have these, pages, and down the side I would have a very few things you could click on, and if you clicked on it and purchased something, I would get a small commission. I never got a small commission. I never got anything. People don't like those. Now, I'm not talking about the way they do now, where something pops on the screen, and these were just small things down the corner of the screen. And one way I know that nobody looks at them is because I didn't look at them. And one day I noticed, wait a minute, what about that on the side? And it was something I had. I forget what it was for. And there was a little spelling error or something there, a word I had spelled wrong or something. And I never noticed it. I just happened for some reason to notice it, so I had it tuned out. So, okay, I'm not going to talk about. Well, I had nothing to do with it, but one of the, I told these guys, the Fort Worth Police Department officers who were in charge of this project, one thing the Fort Worth Police Department was trying and is trying to, if they can, hire, minorities. And they pay really well, and I talked to the one guy especially that I was working with. One guy was like a personnel person, and I'm not sure if he was personnel person for police department. I think it was just a police department. And then the other guy was a detective in internal affairs, I think it was. But so he was the one mainly that I talked to, and so when they were taking me someplace, they'd take me out to eat, I think just about every time. I think every time. Like one time they took me, the one guy took me all around to all I didn't know they had all these substations or whatever. He took me, I think, to just about all of them, and took me in, and one thing, every one of the police officers had a desk, and an area to work. I was used to, a clipboard and doing reports in, the vehicle or whatever. I was a reserve police officer with a small police department for, 10 years. I don't remember exactly how long. But when I started, there were no full-time officers. There were 7 of us. Counting me, there was 7. And we had one night a week that we patrolled. We could decide when we wanted to go. They liked you to come in like 7 p.m. and work till midnight or 2 or something like that. I came in earlier than that sometimes, and I worked much later. And then eventually when we got, first we didn't, there were no full-time officers. At first there was no dispatchers. We had to use the Cass County Sheriff's dispatch. They had 1 or 2 officers for the entire county, and I think when their officers came back to Cass County, headquarters, and there was a period where the county did not have enough money for gas for the cars, or a car. Well, they had more than one car, but so at night, and maybe during the day the car, they just have their car parked there and the officer there because they couldn't afford to go, like at night, they couldn't afford to drive all the way through. And then, of course, the small department that I was a reserve officer with, Cass County would call us and ask us if we would run someplace out in the county because they only had like one. It was, oh man, I talk about, But, that's what I was going to talk about. The wages and the benefits and everything with the Fort Worth Police Department were excellent. And then I talked to the officer, real nice guy, and I just asked him some questions. I said, well, I think the first thing I said, well, do you have reserve officers? He says, and I said, I said, most of the departments I've seen, the reserve officers are just like full-time officers once they get their training, and certification and all that, and they take a car out and they handle the situation. I said there's some departments I've heard about that where the reserve officer just rides with another officer or stuff like that. He said no, they go out, they do the thing. And then I said, a lot of departments. I asked about the police academy. I forget how long it is, and the officers are paid to full their wages. While they're in the academy, they're paid. Where some places you go through the training and then you get the good pay. But I said, I said a lot of departments, and I said it's a bad idea, and I said, but it happens. When you get out of the academy, you go to midnight shift, and you're assigned to the worst part of town. And I said that's really bad. I in my opinion, I explained why, blah blah blah, that you're thrown into an area that has high crime, and the officers that are working the midnight shift are they're going to tell you, oh, these people are, damn, watch your back, and that kind of stuff. And he said no. He says they come out and then they're split up into different different areas. May go to the day shift, may go to evening shift, may go to midnight shift, may get good part of town is their district, and just all that kind of stuff. And everything he told me sounded good. Okay, I think that's enough of me. How long have I been talking? 37 minutes. That's not bad for me. I mean, that's good for me, because I tend to ramble. And I forget things when I start talking about something, and I get diverted. So, but anyway, if you can click on one of my links here, it would be nice, because I spend quite a bit of money, and then I buy things which I should not. I really don't have to, but then I'll see something and I'll think, ooh, that will be, nice to have, or it would help me a lot, or it doesn't. But anyway, thank you very much for watching.